Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm really glad that you clicked on this video, YouTube suggested it to you, or maybe you're sleeping right now and it's just started playing. I don't know your life. You do you, man. Or gal, whoever you are. Today we are taking a look at the Cessna 414A Chancellor by Flysimware. I have had this airplane on the channel before and it has been updated numerous times since then. Flysimware is really good about updating the aircraft. Sometimes it feels like there's a new update every other day, and the second I get it updated, usually a new one comes out. So I'm not sure what version of the airplane we were on. I will look it up, put it down in the description or in the title once I look it up and edit this video and put it up to the YouTube for all of you guys to see. But we're going to do a real quick 30-minute flight from West Yellowstone over to Red Lodge, Montana. So we got the passengers on board. I just had to come run in and get some snacks for them. And now, let's go ahead, hop out to the airplane, and get on our way. Alright, so here we are inside of the airplane. I've already taken it on, I think, 4 flights today. We started out in Red Lodge, came down here to West Yellowstone, went up to Billings, over to Bozeman, and back. So we're going to go ahead and take it on our final flight of the day, so most of the aircraft is set up. Also, if you would like to know more about the sceneries I use, the add-ons I use, liveries, whatever it is, check the description below. You're going to have to do some scrolling below the timestamps and whatever else I put in there. But I usually link everything below in the description. And so this is going to be a really simple flight today. Not a whole lot's changed with the airplane since the last time I reviewed it. Here on the EFB, or iPad, whatever you want to call it, we do actually have checklists now. So that's nice. So you can actually review the checklist, and the iPad battery does drain. We're going to ignore most of this today because I'm not going to really follow the checklist. I know the basics of flying the aircraft, and that's going to be good enough for me. So we're going to do it the Tyler way, not the official way. We are going to start on ground power today, so we're going to leave that as is. Looking at our weather, we do currently have a 19-knot headwind, so we'll be departing this direction, which is the same way we landed. It's a little chilly out, so we'll turn the heat on. And barometric pressure is 3014, which we already got in the dial. We do have 2 passengers. We have Alicia and John, along with their 11-year-old child, Bobby. Looks like we got 3 bags up in the avionics bay, and then we got 1 bag in each wing locker. Fuel, we're looking at 77%, which is 157 gallons. We are about 300 or so pounds under our max takeoff weight. And we're not going to go over to the checklist, so let's pop that back to the beginning. And we'll turn that off to save the battery. So for starting the airplane, we are hooked up to the GPU. We'll go ahead and get the battery on anyway. We're going to do the right engine first since the GPU is off to our left. And then we shouldn't need to prime it. We'll see what the airplane thinks. Scooting over, our tanks are already set to on. They are green. So go ahead and turn on our anti-collision. Nav lights are on. We'll go ahead and bring the mixture up to rich. We'll get the right prop out of feather. There it is, turning, doing its thing. So we're going to pop right down here. Well, first fuel pump to low. We can hear it. And then let's fire up. And that sounds like it's going to be a good start. Let's see. Yep, maintain that 500 RPM, and it's coming up. I'll go ahead and kick this propeller all the way up. And once it gets above 1,000, or to 1,000 at least, we'll go ahead and turn the alternator on. Or I guess the generator. And with that, we'll go ahead and tell the ground crew to disconnect our GPS. There's our fancy hand signal with the mouse. I just said our GPS. Our GPU, sorry. And we'll get them to pull the chocks as well because our parking brake is set. And now we'll scratch this iPad because we don't need it. Now for engine number 1, we'll get fuel pump number 2 off for now. Fuel pump number 1 on. Mags go on. Mixture up. Let's go ahead, bring this propeller up out of feather. Blades are a turning, so let's fire it up. And looks like another good start. Let's see. Yep, 500 RPM. So let's go ahead and bring the propeller back up. And just like before, we'll wait to see if it comes up to 1,000. We do have 157 gallons, so we'll go ahead and press enter on our fuel calculator. Then I like to see our endurance, so there we got our endurance. We're at 1,000. Generator number 1 can go on. We'll flip the fuel pump off for now. Get the taxi lights on, and avionics can come on as well. So you've got some air pumping through. Oh, that's good. Pressurization is set. We are going to cruise at 15,000 feet for this flight. So I got that dialed into 15.5. Everything's looking good there. That's down on circulate, and we'll put that on a low blower. So let's go ahead and get the flight director on. We're going to want to climb for our indicated airspeed, which I want to climb at 115. Let's just dial this up for a little bit. And we'll maintain heading on departure. That's not the right button. So 0415, that is the ADF right outside of West Yellowstone. So that'll indicate up here later on. We do have our VOR set. This one's set to Cody, Wyoming. That's Billings, Montana. Billings, Montana, Cody, Wyoming. We won't be navigating to either of those. We will just use it for, I guess, general navigation purposes, so we know where we are. We're doing an IFR altitude today, but we will not be using ATC, so we'll just go ahead and plug in some numbers. Let's do 6332. That sounds good to me. We'll turn that to on. So prop sync's off, flight director's on, heading. Nav is set up. We're going from West Yellowstone to waypoint Bravo Uniform Foxtrot Victor Oscar. Yeah, I think I got the right. I think I got the phonetic alphabet right today. And then down to Red Lodge, Montana. We'll go ahead and put a 15,000 foot altitude in here. Boom, 15,000. And that is done. Save. And with that, we'll just go ahead and zoom this out, at least enough to where we can see the ADF, which is right there. And let's go ahead and get rolling on the way. So take the brakes off, bring in our yoke, and we will taxi on out to the runway. Okay, so here we are lined up on runway 19. We do have our landing lights on. Our transponder is set to altitude reporting. We have verified we're on runway 19. We're pretty much lined up. Heading bug is set, altitude set, vertical speed, heading. We do appear to be good to go. So we've already briefed the passengers and we are ready for takeoff. So let's go ahead and bring the engines up. Let's make sure that RPM doesn't get too high, so we'll bring it in nice and slow. Everything's looking good, so now we'll bring it up to 40 inches of manifold pressure. Alright, and now we're going straight down the runway. So looking for right about 90-ish knots. There's 80. Thinking about being at 90. There we go. Now we'll bring it back nice and gentle, and there, and we're up. So there's positive rate on the vertical speed. Gears coming up. Got the in-transit lights and gears out. So we keep the flaps in for right now. go ahead and bring the flaps up and give ourselves some trim so we're not having to fight it the whole time. And we're pretty close to 115, so we'll drop the nose a little bit as the flaps come up. Go ahead and activate the autopilot just to make our life slightly easier. Go ahead and get prop sync on. Yaw damp is on. And now that we're above 500 feet, we'll go ahead and just throttle it back a little bit. So first things first, we'll bring the throttle down to about 34 inches. Then we're going to bring the props back to 2,500. So there's 2,500. We're flying outbound towards the VOR. But I think we'll be able to clear everything just fine. Got a bit more open space on our right, so we'll do a climbing right-hand turn out of here to intercept our GPS course to Buffalo, or Buffalo, however it's pronounced. Try and just maintain a constant bank angle. And this is a super pretty area. I love flying out of this airport. If you would like to fly out of this airport, it is a freeware airport, so it doesn't even cost any money, just costs memory space. Which, if you're like me, half the time memory space is a never-ending issue. Because, you know, the game takes up so much space, and then everything you want for the game takes up, if not the same amount of memory, but more. Let's see. I think we'll do a 070. That should get us pretty decent, I would like to think. Then we can kind of fly over West Yellowstone. Maybe we'll be able to see the airport out the left-hand side of the airplane. There it is. This should give us a decent intercept. It might be slow, but it should be a decent intercept for our course. Let's flip that over to GPS. There we go, and the heading we want for our GPS looks like 080. That's pretty much dialed right in. Looks like it's only 1.5 miles to our left. We'll wait till that closes in some. We'll go ahead and turn the heat on. So we'll put it on a low blower and cabin heat. I'll get our pitot install heat on. I forgot to turn that on, but it's pretty nice out, so we shouldn't have to worry about that too much. It's only 50 degrees out and not really any visible moisture yet. Just dial this in so that way it points us towards Cody, I believe it is. I just think this is going off of nav 2. Well, actually that'd be Billings, not Cody. Yeah, and based on a 04 heading, that's probably Billings, Montana, that way. Cool, well I'm gonna go ahead and get us to the climb, and I will talk to you guys up at cruise. Alright everyone, so we've been established at cruise here for a little bit. I was taking some outside shots for you because it is absolutely gorgeous in this part of the country. Right up here in front of us is Beartooth Mountain and the Beartooth Glaciers on the backside. We're going to go left here. If we were to go right, we could shoot down along, I want to say it's the Black Canyon Lake, maybe Bear Canyon Lake. But we're going to shoot down here to the left. We'll come across First and Second Rock Lake. September Morn Lake is somewhere up here. And then we'll go down the Lady Fork this way. And then down to Highway 212 and the Beartooth Highway going down to Red Lodge that way. We can already see the first of the Rock Lakes. So we are going to go ahead and start slowing the airplane up. Just going to pull it back till we get the gear sound. There's the gear sound. I'm going to let us come down to 140 first. We're well under our flap speed, so I'm going to go ahead and drop our first notch of flap to just help slow us down. We'll get the props coming up as well to help get us slowed down a little bit more. Fuel pumps come on. We'll kill the prop sync, yaw damp, and autopilot. And now we're going to begin a descent here. And we're going to go ahead and fly through the mountains. Just to be kind of safe with this approach, we are going to stick to the right-hand side. That way if we need to take any evasive maneuvers, we got the whole left side of the valley to make those maneuvers. Let's go ahead and get our landing lights extended as we come down through the mountains. We're just going to ride that gear horn all the way down. And let's get some downward trim just to help us out. We need to keep our speed under 170 for the flaps that we have in right now. And there we can see both rock lakes, which is nice. So once again, that's going to be Beartooth Mountain, and then Beartooth Glacier is just on the back side of it where we can't see. Just lean a little bit more to the left. I'm going to try and keep us to where we're about 2,000 feet above the forest for most of the journey as we go down into Red Lodge. And it's going to get a little bumpy just because of the time of day and whatnot. And there's the Beartooth Glacier part of the Beartooth Mountain. It looks like we're at 150 on our speed, which is good. And so now as we come around to the right, we're actually going to be following the Lady Fork of Rock Creek down to the actual Rock Creek and Highway 212. Which, if you ever make it to this part of the country in real life, Highway 212 going up through the Beartooth Highway, which is right here. It's, well, I guess not here, it's up in front of us. That will take you on a really pretty route. I would definitely recommend it if you're ever in the area in real life. It's like an hour south of Billings, and you can drive up it. It's super, super pretty. It also, I learned this back when I took geology, apparently the Beartooth Mountains has some of the oldest like rocks on the planet. So that's another thing if you're into rocks and like geology. There's a lot of fossils out here too. So right now, oh, we're a little below 2,000 feet, so we'll go ahead and start pitching up just a little, because we're right about 1,700 feet above the forest. We don't want to disturb all those people actually trying to hike and enjoy it. Speed's looking good. We're right about 136, 137. So we could actually add another notch of flaps, but we'll go ahead and wait until we get closer to the airport. So up in front of us, in this little, I guess, fork, if you were to go right, that would continue with the Beartooth Highway up that way, and you could get to the main fork and whatnot. We're going to shoot left here, and we're going to kind of zigzag through the valley like that, and that'll pop us out at Red Lodge. And we'll be following Highway 212 back into town, and we'll also be coming up on the Rock Creek as well. Yeah, so out that way, oops, sorry guys. Yeah, out that way is the Beartooth Highway. Hell Roaring is a trail / Forest Service route, the main fork. You can get up to Glacier Lake that way as well, which I'm looking forward to doing when I get back from my next work trip. Or who knows, maybe by the time this video is posted I'll actually be doing that. So then right down there, that is Rock Creek and Highway 212. So that's kind of what we're going to follow into Red Lodge. And now we'll keep cutting it to the right, just so that way we stay on this side of the valley for in case we need to make any evasive maneuvers. And we'll hit the magic B button, check our altimeters. let's see, we're still right about 1,000 feet. And so now as we come to the right, we should start to see Red Lodge. Well, sorry, not the right, to the left. Right down there, off of our left wing, there should be a rock formation referred to as God's Thumb. I'm not sure if we'll be able to see it in the sim. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to see it just because of the wing right below us. So this is East Side Road. That is Highway 212, and then that's the Rock Creek. And right up here, this is to the right of Red Lodge. Red Lodge is right down there, and our airport's going to be right up here somewhere. This is Mount Maurice on our right, and then that is the Red Lodge Mountain on our left. There's a ski resort up there. It's pretty popular with the locals. I'm not into skiing. I always told myself I was going to learn, and then I never did learn how to ski. Alright, and so now that we're at 140, well, we're actually about 130 on our speed, and we're about 500 feet off of Mount Maurice here. We'll go ahead, give it notch 2 of our flaps, and drop the landing gear. I'm not concerned about knowing which way the wind's blowing, because wind's fairly calm out here. It's not too bad. Then as we get ready to land, let's go ahead and get our cabin heat turned off. We won't need that anymore. So then now we're coming up on Matitsi Trail. There's town, and then that's our runway right there. So now we want to go ahead and work on slowing up. The wind should not have changed too much, which means we'll still want to land to the north. So now we'll work on bleeding off some of the speed. Got fuel pumps on low, props up, mixtures up. Speed, we can still slow down a little bit because it is a short runway. And yeah, let's try and hold about 95 to 100 for this approach. And now we're sinking a little too fast. So let's give it some upward trim. There's 500 feet. We're at our minimums. I think we're going to be good to do this landing. So we'll continue. That's town on our right, just going through the pillar. Alright, we got a little slight crosswind. There's 500 feet again as we go over town. Alright, and now let's go ahead and start reducing power and descending. Because we should be safe from these trees. Got green lights for the gear. And positive ID on runway 34. And let's flare on it. Come on. And then we'll brake. That was actually my best landing. I have a hard time landing at this airport. Alright, and so we are on, so I'm going to taxi us into the hangar, and I'll talk to you once we shut down. Alright, so this is not the actual hangar we're going to park at. This is just the one we're going to shut down at, because we're going to have to push ourselves back to our hangar that's right behind us. So I got the props up to right about 1500, which is where I want them. I'm going to go ahead and bring the props back. Try to do that, we can go ahead and shut off the avionics. We don't need it anymore. Props are coming down to about 1,000. Then I like to feather them. See, while we wait for those to feather, Go ahead, turn the fuel pumps off. Don't need them anymore. And I forgot to turn our transponder off, actually. Left that in altitude reporting. Stand by. There we go. Turn that off. Then before I forget, let's go ahead and flip the cabin fan to off as well. Pitot heat, and stop doing that, Tyler. So all that's turned off. Fuel pumps are off. Nav lights can stay on for now. So now we'll go ahead and bring our mixtures back and kill the engines. And that is done. Go ahead, flip the mags off. Scoot over and turn these off as well. And we'll get the battery off. So I'm going to go ahead, hop out, push the plane back, and then I will talk to you guys then. Okay, so I have the plane pushed back to the hangar. We've unloaded our passengers and our cargo, but for whatever reason, we just want to chill inside the airplane still. I would just like to thank all of you guys for joining me on this short, like half-hour-long flight from West Yellowstone to Red Lodge, Montana. For whatever reason, that hill coming up off the runway is super exaggerated in the game. Also, the little fueling pad back here is like on the taxiway. And for whatever reason, these hangars are just like little shops that don't have doors. If any of you guys are good with sceneries and want to like make a Red Lodge, Montana like airport improvement, that would be super cool. I would appreciate it. But even if you don't, I just want to say that I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are awesome. And I really do like making these videos for you guys. I just wish right now it wasn't my travel season and I had more time to make more videos. But I do want to thank each and every one of you for joining me on this flight. I appreciate you all. You're all wonderful people. And I can't wait to see you on the next one. If you have any suggestions for aircraft sceneries, future flights, videos, things you like that I did, things that you didn't like that I did, go ahead and drop it down in the comments below. And if you really like it, you can hit that like button or that subscribe button. I appreciate anything. I appreciate you just being here sleeping through this. Anyway, with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for the night. I'll talk to you wonderful people again next time. Have a good one.